The Jenny McCarthy Show on Sirius XM Stars.
Welcome back to the Jenny McCarthy Show. I'm Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. So excited to talk to these two beautiful, strong, empowering, inspirational women, Brie and Nikki Bella. They've got a book out called Incomparable. It's available right now. And wow, what a book, you guys. Have to read this. Total Bellas is also on Thursdays at 9 o'clock on E! Brie and Nikki, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having us, twins.
You guys are so beautiful. I mean, you know that, but I'm just letting you know again, you're striking.
Oh my gosh,
you're so sweet. Thank you. You as well, by the way.
I've got cadaver makeup on. That's how I get through it. Congratulations on this book. I've written a few myself, and boy, it's hard when it's so obviously, close to home. It's yourself. It's not like it's a fabrication. It's the real deal of all the trials and tribulations. And you guys have gone through it. Was it?
Oh my gosh.
Was it scary to be so vulnerable and open when you were writing this book?
Oh, it was. Nicole and I, it was crazy because we were so nervous to tell our stories. And I think it's because, especially in your childhood, you want to protect your loved ones, but at the same time, you want to tell people what defined you as a strong woman and what you survived. And I think that's what was the hardest on us, is we didn't want to hurt our family members by telling our stories, but we knew it was time to tell them. And I think too, for us, it was like, we already get judged, with the reality shows. You have people that love you or hate you. We're going to get judged on these stories as well. Are we ready for that? So emotionally, a lot does go into writing a book.
Yeah. And I think too, when, I told some stories that I had never even told some of the people closest to me, like even my mom, and knowing that it was coming out in our memoir, like for me, it was just like, am I going to be okay to go through this now with the world? It's like, I've already gone through it in therapy. I've worked on it for 20 years. My sister knows it, but like, am I ready for this? And I didn't sleep last night. Yesterday was pretty tough, but I am proud to the same time that I was able to tell my story and get it out there and to help people.
100%. People that have gone through similar experiences feel not so alone. Was that one of the reasons that was important for you to tell the story, or what drove you guys to do it?
My sister and I, the one thing we realized is that the last 7 years being reality stars, people were defining us as strong women from that. And then also our wrestling careers, which has been over 13 years. But for Nicole and I, we're like, us being survivors started when we were children. Like us learning how to be strong started when we were children. And we're like, people need to know that, because we always just kept it a secret and never exposed it. And we thought, the youth needs a lot of help because they're going through this too. And why not let them know, like, hey, Bella's went through it, but we looked at the positive. And so that to us was important.
It was like when Brie and I were writing our memoir, we just didn't want it to be like, oh, here's a story about us. We're so great, or this is what we went through. We were like, okay, when our readers finish the last chapter, that last page, and close the book, we want them to take something away. We want them to either feel empowered, more confident, brave. We truly want them to put on this like invisible cape and be like, I'm going to be a hero of my own story. I'm no longer going to be a victim. And that was our goal.
Oh, and you guys have done such a great job. And by the way, you guys are both totally pregnant during this quarantine.
Yes. We need to show you.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh my God, you guys are so, my sister's also pregnant during this quarantine. She's due in June. How has it been more difficult during this quarantine being pregnant?
So I feel bad for my sister because this is her first pregnancy. It's my second. So we had to cancel her baby shower, all like the fun first things you do when you're pregnant for that first time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful to be healthy. So I always tell Brie that, like, it does suck. I'm not going to do some sexy naked maternity shoot or all that fun stuff. And I think the thing that's affected me the most is going to my appointments alone without my fiance. Oh. And like, I come back and I'll tell him how the baby looks, and I try to take the videos and the pictures. And that's been like the one bummer of it all, is because I want to share that with him. So I usually cry before I walk in, and then I see the baby and I feel good. But I'm lucky to have her because, you know, when you're the first time going through it and you feel kicks and then you don't feel kicks, and I'm like, there's something wrong.
Totally.
I mean, I got hemorrhoids. So at first when I thought blood, I was like, wait, is that, oh, that's the wrong hole. Okay, so my fine is something still wrong.
I mean, I had so many things happen to my body during pregnancy that everything that could gone wrong did go wrong, which is why I had to write a pregnancy book about it. Because I'm like, wait a minute, they don't tell you half of this other stuff that goes on during pregnancy, and it's scary. And reading your guys' book, how will the way you mother be different because of your upbringing?
It's funny because we were talking about this actually last night, and we were saying already my daughter, she's going to be 3 actually in a couple of days, but how different I've been. And the biggest thing I learned was never to fight in front of her. Like my household, we constantly saw our parents at their throats, like constantly fighting. And it just caused a lot of bad habits for us and things we had to go to therapy and learn, like not to be in relationships. But just the angry energy that was constantly surrounding us as kids. And my husband and I was like, listen, if we get mad at each other, we hold it in and we talk about it at night when she's asleep and we have a gentle conversation. And already in the last 3 years, seeing that with my daughter, she's never once seen this fight. She's never seen. And so I just want to always make the household calm and just good energy. I believe in energy. And that's the one thing I've really made different compared to my childhood.
I agree with Brie. I, want that for my child, as well as to have the tools to make every day count and matter. Like, I felt like at times, like when I look back, like there was so much more I wish I could have done, but we didn't have that. And I would rather have less as an adult so my child can have more. So my child can truly become the person that it wants to be and know that like, mom can provide this. Like, you want to play the piano, I'll get you a piano or whatever it may be. I want every day to matter to my kid.
Did you guys plan getting pregnant together?
No. And how about we both were shocked when we got pregnant? Like,
It's the craziest story.
Yeah, my husband and I were kind of settled on just having one kid. We're both super busy. And I do remember the night where we kind of weren't, like, we just didn't think about it, but it's really hard for me to get pregnant. It takes a long time. When I found out, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. And it was
I was shocked that she was pregnant. Then like 2 days later, I started feeling a lot of pregnancy symptoms, but I'm thinking it's because of her. But then I was in yoga and I kept just visualizing a pregnancy test. And I'm like, is the universe trying to tell me something? I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go drive and get a test, take it. I'm sure I'm fine. When I saw positive, like I literally was told a month before I got diagnosed with PCOS, I was told that I need help if I ever wanted to get pregnant, that I had like no estrogen in my body, all testosterone. So I did have 2 fun nights of like having no protection because I'm like, well, it can't happen. So when that tested positive, I was at first like, do I go next door to my sisters or should I tell my fiance first? But like, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, what do? I literally just told everyone that I don't want to have, what did I say, for a few years? Yeah. Because, I just had gotten engaged. That was already really fast. So we were very shocked and then embarrassed.
But I also think it's kind of meant to be. Like, you can raise your kids together and there's nothing more fun than that.
I agree. We're really excited now.
We kind of feel like we're having our own twins. Like, we have one baby in our belly, but we feel like they're going to be like twins because we're a week and a half apart.
It's so crazy.
And we're like, we must on some spiritual level be having these twins.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. Do you have any superstitions? Like, I'm not telling people the names or anything, or?
So I don't, but the one thing, my husband and I want to have a surprise. We just thought there's no more surprises in life. So we're not going to find out the gender and until a baby's born. So that's been really fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, we don't really have any of that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think.
You don't have a superstition.
We're announcing our gender on the season finale of our show. Cause I was like, sometimes reality TV, you never get really surprises anymore because, of social media and everything. Everyone kind of knows a lot of stuff. So we're saving that, which will be fun. And then, the name, we don't have, I guess, any superstitions.
Well, that's good. And you guys got each other. So it just makes pregnancy so much better. Let me plug the book again. Incomparable. The book is available right now. Their show, Total Bellas, Thursdays at 9:00 on E! So what about cravings? Are you guys craving weird stuff being pregnant?
Well, so not so much weird as just the exact same thing.
Exact same.
Like our pregnancies are exactly the same. So right now we're really big into fruit and baked goods. But I was not like that with Birdie. Like with Birdie, I wanted everything salty. But this pregnancy is different, but yet it's exactly like you.
Yeah, but I feel like lately, though, I've wanted homemade hamburgers with a pile of pepperoncinis and pickles on top.
Yum.
Like that has been my heaven. Like every night I could eat that.
I know I took that as like, okay, I can't work right now. So I'm just going to really, because I have a diet my whole career, I'm just going to enjoy it. I mean, I would eat a pan of brownies and like chocolate milk quick, the whole gallon. And then I wound up gaining 85 pounds in my pregnancy. And I'm like, well, no wonder. I literally ate enough for like 20 people in a year.
Yeah.
Have you guys been on the journey of watching what you're eating? Did you gain more weight than you thought, less than you thought?
So, I mean, what sucks is before this pandemic, I was like actually on a good roll. I was like, I have a good plan. And then we got into quarantine. And in the beginning, I was good. And then my fiance's become the best chef and baker ever. And I even try to get monk fruit to like substitute the sugar, but it doesn't substitute the calories. And I definitely had to talk to him the other day because I was like, Artem, where I'm at now, I was hoping I'd be this going into labor. And I still have 3 months. I'm like, my thighs went from now touching to overlapping. Like my thighs are getting so out of control. And I'm like, do you understand? I'm gonna have such a hard journey after. So I definitely have gained more weight than I would like. And I'm not even done. It's crazy.
I've been a little more mindful this pregnancy because I gained a lot my first pregnancy. Because my first pregnancy, I was like you. It was like my whole career being in this little gear wrestling. You're always worried about your weight.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I didn't have to show a midriff. So I was like, yes, gelato, here I come. And I gained
Gelato, here I come. I do want to go back to your book for a little bit. There was a moment that you guys have, I guess, what you call healed with your dad. How scary was that going to him and reconciling?
So Brie really helped me with that because I think Brie becoming a mom, she realized that her husband had lost his father. So she really wanted Birdie to have a grandfather. And she's like, I'm lucky to have my father alive. And it really made Brie want to repair that relationship. And it took me a few years after that. And it was honestly our memoir that kind of pushed me like, okay, I need to show dad this chapter. I was extremely nervous. We still protected them somewhat, but I was like, it's kind of facing someone of being like, this is how badly you hurt me. And we've never talked about it face to face. And so that was really scary. And then we did it with reality cameras. And it's like, It was even like worse because, with Brie and I, like, we don't ever want to have to reenact something. So we will have cameras with us if it's those moments that we want to show the world. And it was really hard.
Right. And I think too, for me, with my daughter, I wanted to let go of all the anger and all the things that burdened me. And my life coach really helped me with that. And so she was like, well, the first thing you need to do to let go of anger and the burden is to just forgive your dad. And I was like, why is forgiveness so hard? But it made me feel better.
And it's true because I dove into like energy work and clearing yourself, and it's so important, especially anger, because that's where like all those ailments come in, cancer and tumors. It's like the younger, the more consistent we can be in clearing those, energy chakras, if you will. Not to sound all hippie-ish, but
but we're like that. We're the same, and I do. And I feel like I'm a better mother because of it, a better human, everything. Because I learned to forgive everything in my life and let the past be the past and just be free.
It's true. When you have a forgiving heart, you just live so lightly. It's like how you should live. And that's why I think we are able to have the capability to forgive. And I just want more people to do that because you're just a happier person. You live life better.
It's true. And with all this division and fighting going on in the world, it's like we hope, and we always say, and you hear people say, God, I wish the fighting, the infighting and the divisiveness would just end. But, it really starts with us. make it work for you in your world, and maybe it will follow collectively.
Yeah. Right.
You talk about in the book about championing a movement for women in the WWE. How do you go about taking that on?
It's crazy because when you're in it, you almost don't know where to start. You're thinking to yourself, like, for the women who came in before us, we'd always hear the change they wanted, and us being there, we're like, how do you do this? Because it's a male-dominated industry. And so it was a huge thing to take on. But at the same time, my sister and I always believe you can turn every no into yes. You just got to give it a try. And I will say, our mother always told us, live with no regrets. Like, the first thing to success is failing. You just got to try. And so we just kind of had the attitudes like, well, let's do it, because the worst case scenario is that we tried, we failed, but we'll never have a what if or no regrets for trying.
We always had those personalities that when you told us no, it like lit this like fire. But it would like, when we would hear the like no's or like, you can't do this, Brie and I would just get this fire in us of like, okay, well, now we're going to prove you wrong. And I don't care, 13 years or however, or whatever I have to do, but I'm proving you wrong now. And so it was like, all we ever kept hearing with the women was like what we couldn't do, and we'd never be equal, which just made us fight even harder.
And when you fought even harder, were you fighting the management or fighting to just make a name for yourself as big as the guys?
Both. It was like, we knew that we had to fight to make an even bigger connection with the fans so that they can be so loud, so that management finally had to be like, well, if the fans are doing this, now we really have to listen. And I'll never forget, it took one match on live TV. They had cut our time so much, and they're like, okay, so you have 2 minutes to tell this kind of story. And it's like, how do I tell that kind of story in 2 minutes? So when we all talked, it was myself, Brie, and 2 other girls in the match, and we're like, you know what, let's just go out there and hit a finisher. And so we go out there, ding, ding, ding. It was Brie hit a finisher on a girl, 1, 2, 3, that's it. We gave them like, I think 10 seconds. And the producers were like, you guys had another like minute and a half. And it started trending for days, like give divas a chance. And it was weird because it's like, we knew we were going to prove a point, but we didn't realize how big.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, went against the rules, and we're like, let's make them talk.
Oh, you guys are smart cookies. See, in my brain, I'm the same way. When I hear no, I'm like, oh, really? Let me just show you. And I was thinking you were going to say, screw the 2 minutes. Let's go 8. Like, I didn't know, but you did. That was a genius move. Like, let's just do a finisher and make them want more.
Yeah, right, because we just got tired that they thought that women could tell these stories, these impactful stories, within a minute and a half, 2 minutes, where the men got 20 minutes. And we're like, no. So we just wanted them to know, like, it's either we get a story, we don't. So you guys picked.
You guys paved the way. I absolutely love it. I do have a super fan of wrestling, and she happens to be my niece. And I know, and I've never done this before, but I'm going to have her pop on. Her name is Maddie. There she is.
Gosh. Hi, Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
How are you?
Good.
Good. How old are you?
I'm 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
Maddie, do you have a question for the ladies?
Yeah.
What's your question?
Do you know if you're ever going to come back to WWE?
Oh, we would love to. Unfortunately, Nikki can't because of her neck. So doctor's orders.
That's in ring, Brie. You never know. Like, I feel like I could make a great general manager, like what Paige did.
That's true.
Or I could find some way to be involved.
But it's not game over for me. I told my husband, because, he's Daniel Bryan, who's on SmackDown. But I said, if the mixed match challenge comes back, he has a good partner right here. So I would like to go back at some point and get back in that ring. It'd be sad if it wasn't with her.
Yeah, but you know what? Edge came back, so you never know. I believe in miracles.
I do too. Maddie, is that something you'd like to do some days? Maybe be a female wrestler?
I don't know.
You could do it. You'd be a good champ.
It'd be fun.
She's a tough one too. She loves it.
Oh, she's so cute.
I love that.
Thank you so much, Maddie. I'm so glad you got to participate.
It was so nice to meet you.
Look at you, so shy. Thanks so much, Maddie. I know, I love it. You guys must have so many young women and girls coming up to you saying like, thank you and for inspiring me. I want to be just like you. That's gotta feel so good.
Oh, it does.
We love it. It's, it could put pressure on you a little bit because you always want to be that good role model for them. But it's who, they made Brie and I. They helped us become the women we are today and be even better people, because you're like, I want these girls to have a role model out there that they can just look up to and know, I can conquer anything. If anything bad happens to me, I won't be a victim. I'll be a survivor. And that if they want to beat the boys up, they can do that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just so blessed for a younger fan base. And even for the women that look up to us, we're just so blessed.
I mean, and one of the things that, again, with your book and your story is that the victim thing, because so many of us find comfort in that victim role and use it like food, if you can conquer that, if you can turn it into, your own power, the reward is huge. Your life changes, your attitude changes, everything. And you guys are living examples of it. So kudos to you. And thank you for being such an example and writing such an extraordinary book. My producers kept telling me I was saying the title wrong. So will you guys say the title of the book?
Oh, yeah. Incomparable.
Thank you. Incomparable. That's my dyslexia.
So what we've realized, you could say it both ways. So everyone says incomparable, and we did. And then it was our publishers that are like, you're saying your title wrong. It's incomparable. And then I Googled it and I was like, oh, I guess they're right.
Okay, I don't feel as stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Perfect. Brie and Nikki Bella, what a joy talking to you guys. Thank you for the amazing book. You guys, it's available out now. Total Bellas, Thursdays, 9:00 on E! I wish you guys all the best and know you have a friend here on the show. You can promote anything you want, and I'm rooting for you guys. And your babies.
Thank you so much, Jenny. That means a lot.
Oh my
Twins.
I love it.
Thank you.
Much love to you guys.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Oh my God, I love those ladies. I don't miss being pregnant though. Ooh. Donnie Wahlberg, I love you. Thank you for always joining me. Josh O'Connor, the Eliminated Masked Singer, and the Bella Twins, of course. You guys, tomorrow, Mother's Day special. It's tomorrow, right, David? The moms the moms of Bravo, Kim Zolciak, Portia Williams, Dorinda Medley, Candy Burris. Oh my God, I'm going to have so much fun talking to these ladies. Don't miss it. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you mañana.